Hey everybody, welcome to Saturday Morning Circus. I watched a movie on Tubi called Lair of the Killer Clowns. It is a 2023 film, 1 hour and 15 minutes, and it's probably 1 hour longer than it needs to be. This synopsis on IMDb is way off. It says a paranormal researcher discovers a hellish no man's land in a remote, forgotten desert landscape where evil clowns await in an otherworldly purgatory to face their fate as payback for their evil deeds. Directed and written by Gary Dean or Ona, and Tabitha Stevens also shares a writing credit, which is bizarre because there's probably like maybe a dozen pages of script, I'm guessing, on this because there's very, very little dialogue. Um, Starring Devhor Dark, who's hot as heck and only unfortunately is on screen for a few minutes, Dan Eternal, Topher Hansen, and the aforementioned Tabitha Stevens playing Paulina, who's in search of her brother, a crazy clown serial killer, Cornelius, played by Drew Marvick. And Drew Marvick has been in a few other movies that I've um, reviewed before, and he's okay. He's a good actor. I don't take his performance as a factor in how bad this movie is. This movie is bad just based on the real lack of story. Like, this is bizarre. So Tabitha Stevens, for those of you who don't know, her known fame is being an adult industry movie star, and that's how I know her. And it's interesting that if you search her in any of the adult streaming websites, you'll see tons of movies that she's done. She's got an extensive list of films that she's partaken in. Um, but she's old. She's older than me, and you kind of lose track of that when you only see a person in previous things. I would be saying the same thing about anyone from maybe the Brady Bunch. When you see somebody now who was an actor or actress back in the day, and now you see them in real life, and then you see they're old, it's kind of disheartening, I guess, because you lose that image of them. She's still very attractive and whatnot, but she's definitely had some facial stuff done. She was blonde, which is not her signature hair color. Um, and really, this movie could have used maybe a nude scene from her to just elevate it from being so bad that you lose interest, which is what happened with me. Um, so the whole implication that there are killer clowns does pay off at the very end, but I think that, when anyone hears the phrase killer clowns, we automatically think of, killer clowns from outer space, and there's nothing of the sort here. We do go through an extensive amount of just wasted time. I'm talking like literally almost a full hour of Tabitha Stevens' character. I don't even remember what it was. Paulina. I don't know where the fuck I got Paulina or Margaret from. Anyways, I've been on some medication. Yes, she's looking for her brother Cornelius, and she's uh, acquired some help from a younger gentleman named Drake. I don't know if it was mentioned in the beginning of the movie and I just didn't hear it. I don't know that either one of these are paranormal researchers, which it doesn't fit the storyline because it's really basically Paulina looking for Cornelius, um, and this journey in the desert where there's a bunch of abandoned like shacks. I wouldn't quite call them houses, but they're about that size. They're not buildings. They're not like two-story buildings or anything. They look like they've been used for graffiti and target practice. There's a lot of bullet holes and whatnot. So I'm sure this is like an actual desert location somewhere in LA that is used for films and maybe firearm practice, because that's what it looked like. And it's just an incredible amount of time spent looking, just walking extremely slow, like Tabitha Stevens' actual acting abilities are pretty bad, and I hate to dump on people like that, but her pacing is really bad. Her delivery of lines, while being relatively forced emotions, they're very quick takes, and I imagine that maybe she has a hard time remembering lines, as probably admittedly I would too. That's why I'm not an actor, but it's very, very dialogue light until we get to the very end, where we have some probably more seasoned actors like Cornelius. Deb Horror Dark plays Alondra. There's a character named Elvira, played by actress named Vuko, Vuko. I'm not sure. None of them have IMDb face shots, so I can't imagine that they've been in a lot. Deb Horror Dark, I did look up. She was in a few things, and she's pretty attractive, kind of a gothy kind of look, which I do like. Um, but yeah, my notes were very, very limited to uh, the background music, which I don't even know that I would call it music. It was just an annoying kind of like screeching kind of sound. Like it was a very loud, um, and not even like it didn't even enhance like dramatic moment because there wasn't any drama in this. Um, the ending is like the last 10 minutes when she does finally find her brother and he's shackled and being looked at by another person. And then we have some very bizarre dialogue. We find out that Cornelius had abandoned his sister and mother, but Paulina says that she was only 2, and doesn't he understand how much trauma he caused her by abandoning her. It seemed very, very strange, like almost like he was the father figure, but I mean, if she was 2 and the brother and sister, he couldn't have been much older than her. So I don't know how the dynamics of the family was, but there was no dad, maybe. I don't know. Just it was just very not well conceived story. The budget was 50,000, and I don't know like where they came up with the 50,000. There's some visual stuff that they do, which is just okay. Um, it's that end 10 minutes or so and 15 minutes or so where you kind of get like backstory filled in of where there is a reason of where they are, this purgatory, clown purgatory, so to speak. And yeah, it's just very strange. The clown makeup is very light. Cornelius is in the clown face paint, but it's very, very light. And also the other characters, once Paulina finds her brother, there's the other 2 characters. They are also in light. Now, on the thumbnail, you see Tabitha Stevens in clown get up. And the movie starts off with her in that, but it's more of the opening credits, which is by far the best part of this entire movie, is the opening credit sequence. It's a lot of CGI, AI type clown montage of credits. That's the best part of the movie. And you do see her in this clown makeup, which is on my thumbnail. And then at the very end, she appears in that makeup outfit for just a brief time. But this was on Tubi, if I didn't mention that already. The character Drake, played by Topher Hansen, was wearing a influencer dye baseball cap. So that is some sort of an Easter egg, I suppose. He was either in that or had something to do with the production of that low-budget indie film. This one's probably not worth checking out unless you're just like a diehard, want to see what Tabitha Stevens looks like in a really recent type film. Give it a look, but otherwise, it's very bad. Stay away from Clown Purgatory, the Lair of the Killer Clowns on Tubi. It's very bad.
Row 18, plot 20.